Hi everyone, this is Marcia from our vintage store. With 4th of July just a couple days away, I thought I would do a video and share a couple of pieces I made last year for 4th of July. These earrings were the first piece that I made. They are made with the Superduo 2-hole seed beads, and I have the 3 rings. They kind of look like lifesavers. They are rather long, longer than I normally wear, but they were fun. I wore them, and we went to a fireworks party, so it worked out. At the end, I used a wire guardian and just embellished it with little seed beads, and made a fishhook ear wire out of sterling silver wire. Very simple. Like I said, fun. They were fun earrings. And of course, I had to have a pendant. I don't know why, but I decided to make a pendant to go with it. Not the exact same design. This is more like a pinwheel, but using the Superduo beads in the red, white, and blue. Created this again with the wire guardian and the seed bead embellishment. Little C-ring, jump ring, not C-ring clasp, but a little jump ring, and I just put it on a sterling silver chain and wore that. So this year I thought I would make a couple pieces to go with it. I did want a ring, so I made this. Actually, I thought this would be a ring finger for my right hand. Did not work out that way. Once I put the seed beads along the edge, it really drew it up, and it ended up being pinky size, which is fine with me. I like it, but I did want one for my ring finger, so I decided to do another one. So I did this one. Again, a little larger, and it will fit on my finger, but it is snug. A little tighter than I am comfortable with. So I thought what I would do today is go ahead and make another one, and I'm going to videotape the process and share it with you guys. I have never done this before, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll try. But before we do that, I have one other piece I want to share with you, and that is this bracelet. Again, I used the same design as the ring with the red, white, and blue Superduos and the seed beads on the side, and I used a magnetic clasp. This is one that I got in the last jewelry jar. I got a couple supplies in that jar, was wire and these clasp. So I said I was going to use them, and I did. And I don't know if you can see that closes pretty easily. So, and I'm happy with the way that turned out. It's comfortable wearing it. But anyway, that's some of the pieces I've made. I know I've gotten at least one comment, maybe 2 or 3, about seeing some of the pieces that I make, and this is just one form of jewelry that I make. And it being, since I already had these made, and they, like I said, 4th of July coming up, I thought I would share these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these, put them off to the side, and I'm going to get my materials together and make one of these rings and show you how I did it. So I'll see you in a few. I am back and I've got my materials. First off, we have our beading thread. I use the Wildfire made by Beading. I'm going to be using the Frost, which is the white. This brand also comes in black and in green. I actually used the green when I made the bracelet. You would think it, but you really cannot see this. Sometimes the white is the most obvious when thread shows in a bead weeding project, but this really just kind of, you know, blends in. It doesn't show much, but anyway, I am going to, like I said, I'm going to use the white. So we've got the beading thread, and I did thread a needle, size 10 needle, with a wingspan, which is your arms stretched out, and I guess it's about 6 feet or so on average. Probably more than I need for this project, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. Then, of course, we have our Superduo beads in the colors that you are going to use for the piece. I'm using the red, white, and blue. You can use any color you want. And then we have the 11-0 seed beads. And I am using Miyuki silver-lined crystal for this. So I am going to we don't need very many, so I'm just going to put a few out here. You're going to need a pair of scissors, of course, to cut your thread to start and when you finish. Superduo beads, sometimes, I tried to check these. I did a visual check on these before I laid them out, or as I laid them out, and they looked okay, but just in case, like I said, sometimes one of the holes is clogged. So if that should happen and we should run across that, I can't get one up here. I have an awl ready just in case I need to poke through. Sometimes the coating gets, it seals up the hole, so I got a little awl to poke that out just in case it should happen. Hopefully I won't need it. And what else? I think that's it. We've got our thread, we've got our beads. Let's get started. Where did I put the... I did want to tell you, let's get these out. With the small ring, the first one that I made, there is a total of 48 beads, 16 of each color, and then the seed beads that go along the edge. In the next size, the bigger size, which is about a 6.5, I used 51 beads, and that's 17 of each color. So if you decide to, you know, do all one color, the smaller one, 48 beads, the larger one, 51 beads, and I'm going to be using 54 beads, or 18 of each color on this ring, and hopefully I'll get a larger, probably a 7 or so ring out of this, and then it'll be just right. So let's move these. And I am going to be stringing these on, and then I'm going to tie them together. If I were to not tie them and do them like I did with the bracelet, where you just lay them straight out, you would want to use a stopper bead, and that's just a bead that you put on the end to hold the beads so they don't fall off. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hold on to this, and we're going to start stringing the beads on, alternating colors. Just you start with the red. I guess it really doesn't matter, but I start with the red. No, we don't want that. And then just alternate red and white. Oh. Get back over here. Until you have all of the red and the white on your string. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Like I said, I have never done a tutorial, never videotaped myself doing a project, so this is a first for me, and I hope it works out. So we have got all of our red and white beads strung on. Make sure that they are all alternating colors. I'm going to take it to the end. Okay. And leave about, I guess, 4 to 6 inches, because you want to weave it back in at the end. You never want to cut your thread at a knot, in case that knot should work loose. It creates a weak spot and your beads could come off. So anyway, so we're going to close that up. I'm going to do another single knot, and then I'm going to do a surgeon's knot, which is a knot with just going around twice, and that should be more than enough to keep it all. And you want your beads you want them to lay in different directions. You want your red to one side and your white, in this case I call this the red on the outside, and your white is going to be on the inside, because we're going to add blue to the white side, and that will end up being the outside of the other side, if that made sense. I hope it did. Okay, got this one. This one, this one, and that may or may not. Now let me get this. Okay, we are here. I am going to, this is, my tail thread is coming out here. This is my working thread, and I am going to go through the red and through the next white and come out like that, because I need to be working off of the white side, and I need to change directions. I need to get up to this edge so I can work around. So I'm coming out right there, and I'm going to pass my needle through the open hole of that same bead, so that will turn me around, and I'm going to stick this tail thread. Stick that tail thread out so it won't be in my way. And see, this is what I mean. It's always a little crazy when you first get started. Putting the blue beads on will help stabilize it. Okay. This is not, okay, it's laying. Can get that out of my way. Okay, so we're coming out of this one Superduo, the white one right here. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up a blue Superduo, and I might just start saying bead. It's a lot easier. And we're going to go from this white bead to this white bead through the empty hole, and we're just going to keep doing that. Go from one white bead to the next white bead, and we want to make sure we keep this tail thread out of the way. Bear with me, guys. I know it's not quite the same. Trying to let somebody else see what you're doing than to just do it. So I'm trying to make this easy for you and me. Okay, so you can see the pattern is forming. You've got your red, you've got your white, and you've got your blue, and you just continue around picking up a blue and going through the white. Now I've started bead weaving. This is what you call this technique with the needle and thread, about 2 years ago. And this, I saw a video that actually inspired me to do this ring. It was Beaded Jewelry Diva, and she made a ring. The results looked like this. She did it in different colors. I don't recall the colors. So it was about a year ago, I think, that I watched that, and I liked it, and I said, oh, I'm going to make one of those one day. Well, I guess today's the day. So she, like I said, she used different colors, and her technique was a little different. She did not close it up into a ring like I did. So, you know, whatever works. I find this easier. She had her reasoning for it, so if you want to check out her videos, I think her this one for the ring goes back about 3 years or more, so you can see. I mean, the end result looks the same. How we got there was a little different, so we just took different paths. Just take your time if you're new at this. It'll happen. So I really hope this is in frame, guys. Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. But I don't know, it's just another form, another outlet of jewelry making. Like I said, it was a couple years ago that I stumbled upon this on YouTube and started watching videos, and just like everything else jewelry, I fell in love with it. So we are finished with this, and I want you to see, let's see, this is about a 10. I'm thinking once we get the seed beads on, this is going to close up to about a 7. So it does dome it, and it does make a difference, those seed beads. Alrighty, so I am going to go a few beads past where I stopped. Go through the blue, the white, and the blue, and then we're going to turn direction again. Tug on the thread, and we're going to come out. We're coming out of the hole that's on the inside. We want to be on the outside, so you come through that. Hopefully that is something you can see. And then we're going to start adding our seed beads. You pick up one and you just advance to the next blue. Like that. See, this works up really quick, and you can make these in all different colors. I like the band style rings. I like the wide band. This is not for everyone, but if you like the wide band and you like to do the bead weaving, this might be a design you want to try. So I tell you, I admire the ladies, and I guess the gentlemen too, that do the designing and do these tutorials on YouTube. They make it look so easy with some of the projects. Now this one, like I said, is simple, but they make some of the harder projects just look so easy, makes you want to try it. And then you try it and say, what was I thinking? No. You know what? We should all try new things. You know, don't invest a lot of money. Maybe go to a class or something, see if you like it before you go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of materials to find out, oh, this is not for me. Okay, now this is the last bead. I'm going to go into the next blue bead, and then I'm going to go forward through the seed bead and the next blue bead. Okay. For sake of time, I'm not going to do this, but if I were doing this off camera, I would probably reinforce this side now. Reinforce meaning go through it once again, at least one more time with my thread. I can always do that later, but I want to show you how to get to this other side, because now we need to add the seed beads over here. So we are coming out here on the outside edge of this blue. We're going to go into the center, the hole that's in the center, the blue bead, and come out, if I can do it all in one pass. Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming through the hole on the inside of the blue and through this white bead as well. Okay. And then we're going to go through the other hole. We're coming out here, and we want to go through the other hole of the white, and I see a thread there. That's why I was wondering where that was coming from. Put that under. Okay, come through the other hole of the white and through the next red. If I can do it in one. I'm going to go through the white and then I'll go through the red because it's not cooperating. And through the inside hole of the red. Okay, and then we're going to make a U-turn and go back through that same red bead in the opposite direction. Okay, and then what we're going to do is start adding our seed beads to the outside edge, outside red edge. Hold that tail thread out. I'm not ready to do anything. I suppose I could have added, you know, taken the tail thread and weaved it in, but I like it as a visual because it shows me where I started and if I've made a complete rotation. Otherwise, it's easy to get lost. So, and we are just, I'm going to move my seed beads over to here so I'm not reaching. And we're doing the same thing on this side as we did on the blue side. Just picking up a seed bead and advancing to the next Superduo bead. Oh, don't tell me. Okay, thought I had a clog. It's what happens. It's the nature of the beast with these Superduos. I suppose any bead could get clogged, but you know, the coating that they use will sometimes get into the holes and clog them up. Alrighty, well, I think you get the idea. You pick up a bead, you advance to the next bead. I know there are so many talented people out there doing this type of work. Just makes you think, where do they come up with all the beautiful designs that they make? I like to sew as well. I haven't done much of it lately, but I learned early on. My mom sewed, and I learned from her. So I guess it's in my blood. Although she did not care much for jewelry. She did not wear jewelry. So I don't know where that comes from, but so we are putting our last one on right there, and I'm going to go past the next bead and put it on the ring mandrel and see what we got. Well, this one, oh, that's not real tight, but when I draw it up, it's going to, it lays between the 7 and the 8 right now, and I am going to go around the outside of each color, or each outside. I'm going to go both sides one more time, at least one more time around, and that will draw it up some as well. But for all intents and purposes, guys, this is it. So I hope that wasn't too boring for you. And that is how you make a Superduo band ring for the 4th of July. So I hope you all do have a good 4th of July. Whatever you do, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope above all that you stay safe. So I will see you on the next video. Hopefully it will be a jewelry jar. So until then, let freedom ring. Bye-bye.